Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Well, Mayor Lovely Warren is asking Rochester residents to contribute their ideas and opinions as the city's comprehensive plan is updated. Rochester 2034 will take a fresh look at our community's current opportunities and challenges, identifying a new vision for the Flower City. Behind this effort is Dorraine Kirkmire, Manager of Planning for the City of Rochester, and Kevin Kelley, Associate City Planner. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Thanks, Tiana.
So we'll just start with the basics. What is a comprehensive plan?
Well, a comprehensive plan is a tool for bringing the community together around a common vision and some shared goals and a shared action plan. It's really a chance for us to tell our story and to look at some strategies for reaching our unified vision that we've come to. And it's a chance for us to brag about ourselves and talk about all the great assets and amenities that Rochester has, and to also inspire people to feel hopeful about the future and to understand where we're going.
And speaking of the future, Rochester 2034, what's the significance of that title?
So a comprehensive plan for a community is typically looking at about a 10 to 15 year window, where we want to be in about 15 years. And it just so happens that our anticipated completion of Rochester 2034 comprehensive plan is next year, and 15 years from 2019 is 2034. Now that's an unusual number, but that happens to be our 200th birthday. So we're trying to envision what we want to be as a community as we arrive at our 200th birthday.
Now, if someone were to go online and look at the old comprehensive plan, what sort of things would they see in there?
So that's the Renaissance 2010 plan, which you can get online on the city's planning website. And it has I think 11 campaigns, and it has to do with environmental stewardship and revitalizing neighborhoods and it's so similar topics that you would find in the new plan, and then again some goals and some strategies around those different campaigns.
And planning for this next update really started 2 years ago, and it's quite a process. Tell us about the timeline for planning and for the project.
So the first year was really, it was before Kevin and I were really working on the project, and it was really primarily research on some demographic information around the city, and then also started the engagement process. So the planners at the time went out to the community and engaged the community, but they engaged at the community at a higher level than we are. They engaged the community at a quadrant level, and they held meetings and invited people to those meetings, and so what came out of it is sort of a higher level visioning and direction. And so when we came in May of 2017, we kind of looked at that and said that we wanted to drill down a little deeper in the community, and we felt that we needed to get to the neighborhood level. So we designed an outreach and engagement process for the comprehensive plan, and so we're spending our time now really working with the neighborhoods and also very topic-based stakeholders. So like the Climate Coalition, or environmental groups, or the Aging Alliance, and that kind of thing, those topic-based groups. And then with the neighborhoods, we're probably going to try and finish up our meeting with the neighborhood groups around May. So it's taken some time to get to 50+ neighborhoods, but that's our goal.
But there's a lot of enthusiasm as we're finding as we meet with these neighborhood groups, because we're finding that people don't necessarily identify with what quadrant of the city that they live in. They either identify as being part of the city, the larger city, or as they're part of their neighborhood. And so engaging them at that level has been really effective, and it's just more of a
We've gotten a lot of feedback. I mean, we met with a total of, just last week, 150 neighborhood members.
Wow.
Across 3 neighborhood groups during that 1 week. So that's really, for us, that's a really robust engagement. And we're really pleased with the turnout. And people, like Kevin said, people are really pleased that we've come out and listening to them, and listening to their neighborhood specific concerns. And when we talk about they relate to to being a member of the city or a member of a neighborhood. They all nod their heads. Very, they agree with that. So, we feel like it's been pretty effective. So we're hoping that we'll finish the engagement process by May and really start to buckle down and write the plan, reconcile some of the issues that have come up, do more research, and look at best practices across the country. Start writing the plan in the summer through the fall, and then have an opportunity to loop back with the community once we've come up with some of these strategies, and hopefully be done in early 2019.
Right, and so along with these community outreach meetings, you've also got an online survey. What can people expect when they visit that survey? Can you walk us through that?
Sure, yeah, it's called the Rochester 2034 survey, and if you go to the city's website and just in the search bar type in 2034, that will take you to the project page.
Okay.
And then right there you'll see a link to take the survey, and it's a really neat survey. We've gotten good feedback about how it's designed. It's not like your typical survey monkey, very dry. There's lots of opportunities to provide feedback, so you can rank issues that are most important to you, but then there's a lot of opportunities to submit comments.
Right.
So we've heard from folks that say, I got through the survey in 7 minutes, and others that said it took me almost an hour because they had so much that they wanted to say and they felt passionate about, and there was lots of different opportunities for them to do that. So that's great. We welcome all of that, but if you only have 5-7 minutes, you could still get through the survey. One of the really neat elements of the survey is a map question, so to speak. One of the slides is a map, and it's a Google Map based question, and there are little pins that you can drop onto the map, as many pins as you'd like, about different challenges and opportunities that you see in the community. Drop a pin on a location and write about it. And that all gets collected and geo-referenced, and we could create a map out of it when it's done. So it's a pretty neat dynamic survey, and really excited. We've gotten a really great response rate from the company that provides the platform for it. Has told us that our response rate is really high for a community of our size. So
the great thing about our survey is, unlike other surveys, you don't go on and have to put in an email address and log in and password and whatever else you have to do to get into a survey. You go directly to the survey. There's no login. There's no it's not difficult to start taking it. And then at the end of the there's essentially an introduction page. There's 3 input pages, and then there's a final page where you have the option of putting in some of your demographic information, your age, your zip code, and if you want to include your email because you want to hear the results of the survey, you can put your email address in, but it's all optional. So it's very user-friendly.
Okay, so what are some of the ways that the comprehensive plan will be implemented in the city?
So one of the things that we would like to see for sure is that council actions that proceed have some reference back to the comprehensive plan, so you can see how the council item is responding to some piece of a strategy that's in the comprehensive plan. We also would use the comprehensive plan to feed into how we're going to sell properties in the city. The city owns a lot of real estate, so before we sell it, we would want to make sure that what we're selling it for is consistent with what's in the comprehensive plan. That's a big piece, is the sale of real estate, and we would be setting up implementation teams to work on some of the larger programmatic implementation strategies. But the biggest thing, of course, is visiting your zoning map and your zoning code. So we have already started programming in for next year's budget how we're going to start assessing the current zoning code for its consistency with the new comprehensive plan. So that's a big piece of implementation.
Wonderful.
There's a lot that the city will do to follow up to implement this, but a real key point in all of this is not a plan for City Hall. This is a community plan, a community comprehensive plan, both in terms of the input that we get into it and the implementation of it. And we're really trying to build relationships, and a lot of them are in place already, with some really great community partners, whether they be foundations, not-for-profits, institutions, neighborhood associations. All of these players have a really important role both in feeding into the plan, but also implementing it. So we're really excited to not just do this sort of standalone process, but carry it forward once it's done with all these partners.
That's right, and we talk about that with our engagement process, with our stakeholders, with the neighborhoods, where it's like a call to action.
Right.
You know, when this is done, it's not all resting on our shoulders to implement. We got to work on it together,
right.
and that's why we're here engaging you now. So hopefully, when it's done, people will be kind of excited to get started. You know.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for your time today. For more information on Rochester 2034 and to take the survey, be sure to visit cityofrochester.gov/comprehensive plan or call 585-428-6698.